Hello, and greetings from Chicago. I'm David Gunkel, the instructor for the course in environmental ethics, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk with you briefly about the course, about myself a little bit, and about the first thing we're going to be reading for the environmental ethics course. So, as you've probably seen from the email that I sent you, we're using an online course syllabus, which gives you all the information you need in terms of what we are reading, the procedures for instruction, and related matters. And I just want to call your attention to the information page, which is the second page on the website. It has my contact information, and you can feel free to contact me directly if you have questions or any problems and you need something resolved. And I have my email address there and also my website, and you can certainly look at those things and use them as you need to. The information page also provides you with a course description and with a description of the method of instruction and the student assessment options. We can talk more about those as the course progresses. But as I think you've already discovered, the class is organized in a kind of hybrid form of instruction. The first 9 weeks we will do online. I will record for you every week a little video introducing some readings for that week, and then there are some questions to guide the process by which you engage the text and work with it. I'm asking you to keep a notebook or a reading log or journal, whatever you want to call it, in which you record responses to those questions so that we can use those when you and I meet in January, when I'll be in Warsaw, and we'll have 2 weeks with 16 hours of instruction where we can actually sit down and talk through this material in much greater detail. There is also, as you'll see on the website, a Facebook page. And the Facebook page is there for us to share ideas and exchange concepts and even debate if we need to. But I found in distance relationships like this, especially for the first 9 weeks, it's good to have a place for us to collect our thoughts, our questions, our issues, and share them publicly with each other. So I encourage you to like the Facebook page and to use it to record your ideas, to submit questions to me, to even debate things if necessary. But I'll be using it to call attention to things that are currently happening that relate to the course content in the area of environmental ethics. There's a lot going on. If you haven't seen recently, a river in New Zealand has just been given the status of a person, which means that the river now has the legal protection that you and I both have with regards to New Zealand's law. So things like this happen throughout the semester, and I want to be able to make them available to you because they will bear upon the kinds of debates and the kinds of things we talk about with regards to this material. And I'll use the Facebook page for posting that information. So if you look at the calendar, which is the third page on the website, that gives you a breakdown for the 9 weeks that we are conducting our interactions via online distance interaction. And you'll notice that they're broken down by week, and each week there's a reading or readings in some cases, and there is an instructor intro, which you're looking at now, followed by a set of study questions. And as I said before, the way you should proceed here is to view the video in which I can at least introduce the material to you, then read the text, and as you're reading the text, use the study questions to sort out the material. The study questions are designed to sort of guide the way that you read the text, and I would like you to be careful with regards to your reading to really focus in on the items that are addressed in the questions, because their purpose is really to help focus your reading and to help you extract the most crucial pieces of information that you need in order to make sense of the text and be able to utilize it. As you finish reading the text, I ask that you record your responses to the text or any other notes you have or questions or issues you want to engage. Put those in your notebook or your reading log so that we are able to access those in the future. If you're like me, you read something and several weeks later you forget what you actually thought about the item that you read. So I'm hoping we can use the notebook or the diary format as a way of keeping track of our engagement with the text and using that as a way to sort of spur our recollection in the future so we can work with this material and talk about it. So with regards to the first thing we're going to read in the environmental ethics class, it is a piece from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. This is a rather well-known encyclopedia of philosophy published out of Stanford University. And I'm starting with an encyclopedia article on environmental ethics because I want us to at least appreciate the big picture. And encyclopedia articles, although rather light on scholarly content, are often very useful for giving you an idea of the big picture. And so this article will help you understand the major players, the major texts, and the major movements that have occurred in environmental ethics. And the first thing you'll notice as you read it is that environmental ethics is rather new. It's a rather recent development in moral philosophy. It only comes in the 1970s and mainly simultaneously out of Norway, the United States, and Australia. So it's really a development that's global, but it's very specifically located to Norwegian thought with philosophers in Norway, with individuals working in the United States, and with individuals working in Australia. And even though the national tendencies are a little bit different in the way that they address the issue of environmental ethics, the idea that is expressed at that period of time really is the founding concepts of what we now recognize as environmental ethics. So I want you to I want you to read the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, read the whole site that I've linked to, which is the entry for environmental ethics, and use it as a way to really get an idea of what major controversies are involved, what major innovations have occurred over time, and what are the different schools of thought with regards to environmental ethics and this idea that we know as either environmental philosophy or eco-critique, etc. So that's my introduction. I encourage you to spend the week working with this material and use it then as a way to spur your own thinking and record your own thoughts then in your reading log or in your notebook. Thanks. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you in January, but we've got 9 weeks here where we are working more individually, but hopefully with these videos I can give you some idea of what we're reading, why we're reading it, and how to make sense of it. Bye-bye.